Sven, what's up, man? Can you hear me?
Hell yeah. Can you hear me properly?
I can, sir. How's it going?
Dude, the Ralphomaniac. I'm here to pay my respects, dude. The
Well,
top
thank you.
G in this fucking sector, man. The top gun, the Ralphomaniac. Although the gun's disappearing quickly, I hear.
It's true.
I see. You're looking great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And you
Listen,
reminded me.
I'm gonna temper my fucking excitement here for a second, if you don't mind.
That's okay. You reminded me I was 94.3 kilograms today, which is 207.8 pounds. So lost about, I don't know, maybe half a pound, somewhere around there since the last time I
Bravo,
updated
dude.
that. So yeah, it's going
You quit
pretty well.
drinking?
Yes, I did. I have
I
Red
got
Bull,
some
though.
bad news.
I drink one Red Bull a day usually, but
I fell off the wagon today. 60 minutes ago. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm gonna have a few drinks to celebrate, and I'm on the
well, you know,
Killstream.
it happens. Far be it from me to tell anybody not to drink, but it's yeah. I'll toast the Red Bull. For me though, it throws me off. Now I know a lot of the classic Killstream moments I was drinking or drunk, and maybe not even remember some of them.
This is not too tempting for you if I drink?
No, it's not too tempting. You can drink.
Okay, good. Perfect.
You could drink.
Perfect,
You know
man.
what? People drinking around me doesn't really affect me. It always, anytime I would fall off, it would be my own thoughts or my own, instincts, bad instincts. So actually, people drinking around me doesn't bother me. So
how long has it been now since you quit? How many days?
So it's the day after I showed up drunk in Florida. So it's almost a month.
The big betrayal, the big epic betrayal,
the big betrayal.
But it ended up uncaging you from the shackles of that gay ass pedo website.
That's right.
And now you're free. Sorry,
I'm
I
free.
need to stop this.
No, I'm free, and the show feels free again, and it's great. But yeah, I haven't drank since then, so almost a month. And then I'd had a relapse, but I had a couple, almost 70 days before that. But I can't count those anymore because I fell off for a couple weeks there. But
here's the thing: the sad thing always is, because I've been trying to quit drinking, not very seriously, but I have this app that counts the days.
Yeah, I had that too. It was on my other phone.
Yeah, and the saddest thing is that every time when you fuck up, you got to go back and reset that little app. That's the sad part.
Yeah, it was the Am I Sober app or some shit like that. I forget what the name of it is.
Yeah, I have the exact same one.
I had it, and I haven't reinstalled it on my phone because I was getting where I was counting every day and talking about every day. Exactly. And I don't know if that might have thrown me off a little bit, maybe too. So I was like, well, I'll wait. I might reinstall it at some point.
You shouldn't really be counting every fucking day, right? It needs to become a lifestyle.
I had a couple people tell me that, and of course I shot it down. But looking back, I think that was probably pretty good advice, honestly. Maybe you could count by the month or something like that, but every single day, I think it almost just reminds you about drinking a little too much, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Similar with cigarettes. I quit smoking too, but I'm going to light one up right now.
Light one up. I quit smoking, but I started back. So
come on, let's light out.
Yeah, well, I'll light one up here in a second. Yeah. But
by the way, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
By the way, here's the thing. I'm not you. You run the ship. You're the captain of the ship. When I do a stream, I'm always so stressed. I keep talking a mile a minute. I don't want there to be even a second of silence. So, if you need me to shut up, just tell me to shut my fucking mouth. Okay?
I never tell guests that. They can hear me all the time, but guests, they're only here for a limited time, and I always let them talk as much as they're willing to talk. Now, let me ask you, for people who don't know who you are, I usually do this with new guests, especially. Give them your background. Tell them how you got here.
I see. Well, especially since I made my entry into this sector of which you're the top G. A lot of people have been telling me that they've seen my cartoons, but they don't really know, who I am. But yeah, I'm a cartoonist, animator, graphic designer, streamer. You name it, I am it. You know what I'm saying? But I think maybe it's good. Maybe it's a good idea. And I don't want to tell you what to do, but maybe we should play one of those tunes. Is that a thing? And maybe we should play the most offensive one, just so people have an idea of the stuff that I make.
I think
then it gives them a bit of context, right? Play that China Ching Chong one, because that's the one that got me in the most trouble of all of them. Got me canceled.
Now let me see. I'm looking through here. So I see the Gila Klein one. I see. Is it the last one you linked?
No. You got to go to the website link that I posted, the SVEN STOFFELS one, and then you got to scroll down to the bottom of that section. It has
Okay, let me pull it up.
The channel. Maybe I should lead it in a little bit, because this was around when Corona hit, COVID-19. Everybody remembers, and there was this big meme about this anime chick representing the coronavirus, and it was this cute little tee-hee anime girl. Now, I didn't really think that covered the load necessarily for this deadly Chinese virus, so I made my own version of it, and subsequently the Chinese Communist Party came after me, after my family. They tried to cancel me. They contacted my old bosses, my oldest. So it was a huge to-do just because of a little cartoon, and now we can maybe watch it.
All right, let me pull it up. Hit like on the stream, ladies and gentlemen. We're here live on Rumble, Kick as well, also on D Live, believe it or not. Okay, so my browser's being slow. I don't know why that's happening, but it'll come up here in a second.
Rick and H.
Yeah, well, my internet's fine. I did a speed test, but my browser's just being slow today, and I don't understand why. Anyway, it's coming up.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
Wait, is my camera too dark? Yeah, that
it's
one.
It's a little dark, but it's okay.
You want to turn up my light?
Maybe a little, yeah.
I'll turn it up. One sec. You play that cartoon. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay, go ahead. And I'll play this for the Killstream faithful. Thank you for being here live on the Killstream. I'm broadcasting from Merida, Mexico, in the Yucatan. And we're live from Killstream World Headquarters. All right, now let me...
I can't hear you. I'm back. What's up?
What's up, man? Let me make this a little bit bigger. So
hell yeah.
Can get a better view here. Okay, let me go ahead and play it. It's pretty short. Maybe I'll play a couple.
They're all very short. You got it? There's no audio?
Yeah, there is, but you can't hear it. I'll figure that out this weekend. Oh my god.
You know?
Also, is the Gila Klein cartoon on here? Hold on, you link that to me.
Yeah. That's the one that Josh always plays. I have a point to make about all of this later, but
okay. And yeah, I know he's a fan of your art too. And
yeah, he rules.
Yeah, and somebody linked the. Of course, you did the intro art for people who don't know. Of course, I told people, but if they don't know, if they didn't hear, you did the new intro art here on the Killstream, and somebody posted it on Kiwi Farms, and Josh immediately knew who it was. He's like, "That's SVEN Stoffels."
Just by the art style? Oh,
yeah, cool. Because your art style. Yeah. I've seen this one everywhere.
Yeah, that's the thing. People usually see my cartoons and they don't know that I'm behind it. She's a fucking killer.
She's a fucking warrior. Oh no, poor Palestinians. Free Palestine, by the way.
There's children. Free Palestine, man. Come on. Look at what they're doing to those little kids.
I won't play the whole thing. You get the idea there, I think. But yeah, free Palestine.
Oh my god, why am I so fucking closed up? Look at my. Oh, you need to zoom out, man. This is not
I'm
good.
going to.
Yeah, this is not. Yeah.
There you go.
So I was about to say, like, I'd be making cartoons like this all day long, but I kind of stopped doing it. Not necessarily because it got canceled, which was pretty fucking bad, but what always happens is these cartoons go mega viral and shit. Like one of the ones we can watch maybe too is that later is a Joe Biden one. Like that fucking China Ching Chong one got like 15 million views in day one on Twitter. Then it got like 20 million on Instagram. But what they do is they crop out my shit and then repost everything. So it's like, what's the fucking point? Like, there's not like, nobody knows that I'm behind it. I'm not generating any revenue off of this shit. So it's like, what's the fucking point? Now, I will say you brought up Josh. He's one of the few who does a good job of really giving credit where it's due, because that's the only thing. Like, people are so used to stealing this type of shit. And I'm all for stealing Netflix shows and stuff like that. If you want to watch the next Baby Yoda season 4, go pirate that shit, but you got to support your artists,
I agree with that. And, it's funny that you mentioned that because I didn't know you did that. I've seen that many times and I had no idea that you had drawn it and then, or animated it. And then we were talking and you mentioned it and I was like, oh, that's you? Like, holy shit. I've seen that everywhere. So yeah, I could imagine that's pretty frustrating and you probably wouldn't mind if it had your name on it. It's advertising for you, but if they take that out, and that's kind of low really to do that. But you know how these people,
it happens all the time. Like that Joe Biden one I did, Joe Rogan played that one. Fucking, what's his name? Trump Jr. retweeted one of my cartoons. It got like 20 million views. Nobody knows I did it, because they crop it out. Yeah. Crop out my fucking shit.
Now, how did you
there's no point.
Yeah, there's no point. No, but let me ask you, how did you get into, cartoonist lifestyle and animating? Like, what drove you to get involved with that in the first place way back when?
I mean, I was a born drawer. I would always draw. That's the thing. I didn't choose this life. It chose me. It's funny though. I will say this because it's kind of, I don't know if he wants me mentioning him necessarily, but I never had any idols or anything except for two guys. The guy who made Ren and Stimpy, John Cristofalusi, who turned out to be a pedophile.
That's true.
All these guys turning into pedophiles nowadays. Another guy was my idol, Doug Tenable, the creator of Earthworm Jim, who I've gotten to know, and I'm working on a project with him right now. So that's great. Shout outs to Doug Tenable.
Yeah,
great,
amazing,
amazing Christian guy. So, but yeah, as far as how did I get into it, I don't know. I always drew. This was just the thing that I had to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, I figured it was probably something like that. I mean, usually, kind of like you said, artist and cartoonist and folks are kind of just born with that almost, right? And they're always doodling, they're always drawing or thinking about things to draw. And yeah, I've known several of those people, and it just kind of comes to them, right? It's almost like thunderbolt, almost imbued
I know.
with that.
I'm noticing, by the way, you asking me questions like obviously like interview style. I always have a lot of trouble like putting feathers up my own ass and like peacocking and stuff like that. So it's mega awkward for me to like talk about that stuff. I'm just now noticing that. You know.
Well, you got to get used to that, brother. I mean, you know.
I know. Well, you asked me questions.
Okay, what is your favorite thing that you've ever drawn? That's a tough question, probably, but.
I mean, I've yet to draw my favorite thing.
Really?
By the way, here's a fun thing. So, had these viral little cartoon things, like it's like a spark of inspiration. I make them like the Gila Klein one, stuff like that. Like I have a Gila Klein one that I wanted to make called Petty Flesh, which it would have been a banger, but it's just there's no fucking point to invest the time in it. I have one about Anne Frank that I wanted to make. And it's like that literally is not worth the trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because it's those type of transgressive cartoons, the whole goddamn chat would love seeing those. I know it. There's a huge audience for it, but I'd literally be crucified making it. Maybe I should make them. I don't know, but you know, it's tough. I will say right now I'm working on a big graphic novel called Butch Killigan. I think you have like my link tree down in your description.
Yeah, I do
right?
actually. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, people can check that out because I'm about to launch. It's done. My first graphic novel is done. It's going to be a series, a 120-page book. It's mega bait. I have the trailer that I just sent you. I don't want to do everything at once. I'm like a fucking spastic ADHD brained type of guy, as you've noticed probably. I go from one thing to the next, but.
By the way, I put the wrong description on there, but it's been on there every day. I'll make sure I put it in there now. It was already up there. That's why I'm like, where'd it go? But I'll put it in there right now. And of course, I've promoted it several times, but I don't know. Sometimes I get it jumbled, and I grab the wrong description because I usually copy and paste. Yeah, see, it was on here. It was on here yesterday. Anyway, I'll get it. But
Ralph, it's okay. It's okay. These things happen, right?
I'm like, where the fuck? I went to go pull it up, and now I don't even see it. And I'm like, oh fuck. Yeah, because I had yours on there, and when I added yours, I put Rock Savage DJ, who is also really good. He does our original music that we have on here. I'm blessed to have a lot of good creative people who help with the show. So he does the music. You have the intro art, and then Gamer Aesthetics. Gamer Aesthetics does my here it goes right here. All right, I'll put that on there. Gamer Aesthetics does my background there. And he's a legend as well, and artist as well. So, I'm pretty blessed on that front. And you see a lot of these other shows don't really have that. So,
don't you feel rejuvenated after getting out of that cozy hole? Like I probably, most likely, I used to watch Killstream all the time. I kind of lost track of you there for a while. Until you fucking pop back out of that hellhole.
Well, I've heard that from a lot of people. I've heard that from several people. Either they lost track or they just didn't want to keep track with me being over there. And I've heard that from a lot of different people. And a lot of people have come back to the fold a little bit. And the show itself kind of reinvigorated outside of that orbit. So it's been a fun run since getting away from that. And I've also seen people comment. They're like, "Wow, you look miserable over there," like showing photos and clips of me versus me now. And it's definitely pretty readily apparent that I needed to get the fuck up out of there. And I'm glad that I did, for sure. Now, what do you think about all that stuff?
I mean, how much am I expected to know? Because I'm sort of in the
Well,
periphery. I'm starting to figure it out a little bit. It's a lot. It's a lot of fucking shit. And that's another thing. Like, I don't hope I'm like the chat's like chomping at the bit to get into all the drama stuff, and I'm sort of like this barrier before we get to the meat of the fucking situation. But I don't know. I haven't read the chat, but you know what I'm saying? I'm really. Here's the thing. I don't know how much you're willing to recap. Sometimes it's good to recap. But here's what I know. I know Ali Alexander. I drew him on my stream the other day. Ali Alexander. And what I was wondering is how could anyone have ever trusted that fucking guy? We started talking about physiognomy and how you can tell by the cut of a guy's jib whether or not to trust him or not. But to me, it was just baffling that that guy was ever to be trusted with anything. He came out of nowhere. And he was a flaming gay pedo rent boy type of that whole fucking thing, completely not to be trusted. And another thing that we figured out. So so Nick Fuentes, that whole stuff. Obviously, I know about Nick Fuentes, that whole fucking thing. And you heard a lot through the grapevine. You heard, oh, this guy's gay, and I just always kind of figured, oh yeah, this is your regular internet detraction of a guy. But then. And I admit, like, I wasn't up to date as much as I probably should have been. But then, across my desk came this gay cat boy date. Oh, and we watched it on my stream. And I was like, all right, so this is just a legit fucking gay date. Like, he went and picked up a gay guy, off the airport who was wearing cat ears. Like, this is a gay date. They went to a little diner. They were having a gay date. And I wonder, I mean, you probably know, like, has he ever addressed this? Because that's pretty blatantly gay.
Yeah, well, he has addressed it. He tries to say it's just an IRL stream, but it's not. And if you watch it, there's so many gay moments in that stream. They're riding in the car and they're like, making sexual innuendo to each other, and like
they're looking into each other's eyes lovingly.
Yeah, it was very gay, extremely gay. Of course, speculation that. Off camera was even gayer, and I think that's probably true. And there's a lot of tells. He said sex with women is gay. He said, and now his latest thing is war on the age of consent. And
oh yeah, that whole jig, yeah. And I saw today, like, those videos. I don't know if those popped today, where he's like legitimately on J6 telling people to breach the barrier, to storm the front. He's the only guy who didn't really get charged. A lot of groypers did get fucked with legally. I mean, it's a whole messy situation.
Yeah, it really is. And we talked about that a lot too. I mean, I'm pretty much dead certain that he worked with the feds either before or after January 6th. And like you said, he was there telling people to disregard police orders, tear down the barriers. We're about to take back the people's house. They need to be afraid, talking about the Congress women and men there. And he was under FBI investigation, got his funds frozen, and got put on the no-fly list. But he didn't get charged. Hold on, let me hear this.
Gordon sent $3 in my defense. Ali Alexander looked like Sammy Davis Jr. I figured he would abandon his kids, not try to deal everyone else's.
I mean, Ali Alexander, he was like a character back on Red Bar. And I thought you've played the clip, the Red Bar clip, right?
Yeah.
With Ali.
Yeah, and I was about to ask you about Red Bar anyway, but yeah, go ahead and the background there.
Well. Yeah, well, he was on Red Bar revealing that he was revealing his blatant faggotry, right? Like, I like to kind of like. He was legitimately revealing a lot about how he likes to power play and like little boys, and how he likes them to look up to him and stuff like that. That rent boy dynamic, which is something I've learned about, which is pretty creepy. It's just this whole. I mean, I don't know how anti-gay we can get on this fucking show, but some pretty creepy stuff going on.
Yeah, and I'd never seen that clip actually until somebody sent it to me. We played it, I think, last week, and he gets into it, talks about how he uses his power, and that's what attracts little boys to him, basically. And then there's a clip. I think he's talking with Lucian Wentrich. And he's
our great friend Lucian.
Yeah,
I know Lucian.
one of the only people I've ever kicked off the show that was scheduled for as a guest appearance because he was so just out of it and just so weird and creepy. I just ended his appearance and actually kicked him
like
off
on drugs or something.
Yeah, he was on drugs. I'm the only one that can be on drugs. But yeah, he was just really weird and really sick. I don't know how many people remember that interview, but I kicked him off the show.
I'll tell you this, like Lucian was somebody who was Red Bar adjacent as well. He's been on my stream once, just, as a gag. And, but we learned through talking to Lucian that this is the concept I got from this gay scene, right? Because, like, again, a guy like Lucian, he worked for the White House, just like Ali Alexander. They worm their way up into these movements. They come from nowhere. And again, I've mentioned this twice now, the rent boy dynamic. What happens is these gay guys, they enter the gay. Oh, I need to shut the fuck up.
Punished Farfor sent $3. You things are bad for Ali when his chin has evolved specifically to have a pair of balls rested on it.
It does seem like nature has given him that. Yeah, that's true. The old chin ball rest. Yeah, that's true. All right, go ahead.
It seems like these gay guys, they're young. They enter the gay scene, these dark club vibes. Then they start sucking off an older guy, a mentor, if you will. They'll start paying their rent money. And that's the way they make it. That's like the gay ecosystem, okay? Now, even some of these gays, like Lucian Windrich, they're not that happy with this LGBTQ stuff, which brings the gay shit into the center of society. Right now, our churches are draped with rainbow flags, gay pride. It's everywhere. Now, these guys would have much preferred it to be this creepy club, vampiric, Blade-style, underground, pedo fag scene. I think it had this air of mystery around it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying. And I didn't really realize a lot of this stuff till started looking into it. Got away from Cozy, but yeah, I know what you're saying. And Wintrich seems to be up to his neck and a lot of this debauchery, I guess you could say. Now, you mentioned Red Bar. What's your history with Red Bar?
I mean, dude, fucking hell, man. My history with Red Bar goes back like fucking 12 years. Mike and I used to be great friends. I don't want to get too much into it, but sure. We had a falling out similar to you had a falling out where you felt disrespected. I felt disrespected, and I decided let's part ways. But I still respect him. I hope he does well. I haven't really been, keeping up with the Red Bar universe that much. But yeah, I used to co-host. I used to do art for him. We used to be great, best buddies. We met up a bunch. We had a bunch of parties. But that's the thing of the past. Das war einmal, as the Germans say. You know about Germans?
I know a little bit about Germans, yeah. Yeah, and of course, I'm not trying to get you to drop any dirt or whatever, but I knew you guys had a falling out, and I don't know the whole details behind it. I was just briefed.
I mean, you can find the whole details. Just type in SVEN STOFFELS Red Bar on YouTube, on Rumble. It's everywhere. There was a leak that you can check out if you really want to know about all that stuff.
All right, now I won't belabor that area though. Very many guns with a Rumble rant says Rand was streaming on some shithole site last year with the same engagement as Glowsy. Now it's become Nick.tv. Yeah, I agree. And when Randbot's pulling numbers, the rival. No offense to Randbot, I'm really not trying to take a shot, but that says a lot, and we kind of decimated their whole site by leaving, and it's a ghost town over there, especially during the day.
I was wondering something, by the way. I was wondering. I noticed Anthony Cumia, which is somebody we covered on Red Bar a lot. Red Bar was on the Cumia network at some point. Intimate relations. I've met Cumia one time in New York City. So he's on there. Is he still on there, or did he disavow?
He's still on there, but he doesn't stream there anymore, really. But he was, but he was defending Nick Fuentes last week. And, I had resisted going in on Cumia, but I think he deserves it, quite frankly, at this point. And, there's commentary out there with him talking about fucking 13-year-olds and stuff like that. So maybe maybe the appeal goes a little deeper. Maybe he's a fan of this war on the age of consent.
Oh, dude, there's so much dirt on him in regards to that topic.
Yeah. Yeah. And people were trying to get me to pull it up the week before, and I didn't. But now I'm like, okay, fuck that.
I mean, and also, you know that Sue Lightning thing? That's real. He denies that to this day, but that's real. You know that whole fucking thing where he fucked a tranny in a hotel room?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. Yeah, he's a big fan of fucking trannies, apparently too.
A great big fan of fucking trannies. This guy. Well, what do you think? Is that going to be one of your targets? I mean, it's a wealth of content. This guy, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it is going to be one of my targets. Matter of fact, I may just pull some of that shit up today. And I tried to resist. I was like, well, I don't know if I want to bring him into it. But now I do. So, yeah, he did that to himself. Speaking, a little update on how I started the show here. His chat just alerted him that the green light has been lit on him, talking about CP Paul there. He is calling for mercy and asking to call in. Yeah, it's too late for that, Paul. It's too late for that. You had the chance. This is a guy who directed a film on Fuentes, the most canceled man in America. By the way, completely shit title.
I'm more canceled than him.
Well, there's a lot of people more canceled than him. You know what I mean? Like, it's just complete trash. The title's complete trash. And Paul funded it on his own, which is an embarrassment. I would have figured he would have made Nick pay him up front, but I guess he's not a very good businessman. So he funded it on his own. I don't know if he ended up breaking even or not. Maybe he squeezed enough simoleons out of these groypers. I don't know. But he funded it on his own to the tune of $30,000. And then today he decided it was a good idea to go in on my wife, who I am estranged from, but obviously I don't play that, Sven. And he thought it was a good idea to try to, drag me or whatever. And I'm gonna be doing the dragging, and already put some stuff out there on him. And I got a lot more where that came from, Paul, you motherfucker.
Top of the sector. Yeah,
you know what? I was like, Paul, you don't need this, man. Just go make your movies. Get away from this. What are you doing? Now, of course, he's besties with the piranha, Ali Alexander. And so
there you go.
I think that's where some of this influence comes. But I don't care at this point. And I warned him. I said, don't do this, Paul. I'm going to give you one last chance. Because the other day, I rolled out the news that Ali Alexander was behind the AF Post account. And it's just chock full of proof that he is, by the way, the article. And then Paul, on the orders of Ali Alexander, pretty clearly went out on Twitter and was like, this is not true according to my inside source. Well, you only have one inside source, and he's inside a little boy, and his name is Ali Alexander. And so we know what your sources are, Paul, and I know where that came from. And I sent him a message. I said, look, it's not going to be friendly the next time you do this, and all bets are off, and you better cease and desist and turn around now. And he decided not to do that, and he's going to get his just desserts as far as that's concerned. So he made that decision, and I damn sure did signal the green light on his ass. And people in the chat know I was trying to be nice, and we even had him on the show, and I talked to him a lot in private. And you're hoping this guy kind of snaps out of it, right? Or just step away, man. Like, what are you even doing? But he made the serious strategic error today of bringing up my wife in a negative way, citing his slut whore girlfriend to do it. Well, okay, I got something for you. So that was his decision, and it's no mercy on that faggot as far as I'm concerned. So, and I don't give a fuck what he's saying on the stream. We'll go through it here in a little while, chat. But apparently begging for mercy, according to reports that I'm getting live here. And
wait, he's begging for mercy?
Yeah, apparently he's asking to call in. Well, I'm busy right now anyway. And it's too late
he's
anyway.
Busy, Paul. You fucking faggot. He's busy.
It was a big mistake, and I heard, and so I kind of came in on the tail end, and he was mentioning my wife, and I was like, what happened there? And then, come to find out, he had brought her up in a negative fashion and tried to go in on that level, and I'm not.
That's a line you shouldn't cross.
Yeah, it's a line you shouldn't cross.
No children.
Right, and I'm a line crosser myself, Sven, and so I'm trying to get away from that, honestly. But if I'm prodded, if I'm pushed, I can easily go back to that level, and that's where he's taking it. And he's got a whole closet full of skeletons that we'll be examining in great detail here on the Killstream. Now,
nice. No mercy.
No mercy. I agree. That's right. What?
Hell yeah, dude. I like it. I like it.
And we'll get into that. But how do you like Rumble so far?
Well, I only just started streaming to Rumble like twice, and it's gone pretty well. I'm getting like similar views to my dead fucking YouTube channel. I got like a 30K YouTube channel, which is just fucking dead. So I'm doing everything through my website. We're actually building our own website. We were building our own super chat system, a whole fucking thing, our own little island. After I got canceled by the Chinese Communist Party, we decided just decentralized. That's the future of the internet. Everybody goes back to their little hubs, and Rumble's been great. It's great for hosting videos and streaming, it turns out. So yeah, definitely going to stick with Rumble.
I'm a fan of Rumble, and
those who hunt
and
sent $3.
ask these questions here in a
Are
second.
you one of the many who smashed Isabella?
If you have questions, send them in now.
Could Isaiah be playing stepdaddy to a little Dutch baby?
All right, I'll play that. Very many guns.
I did fuck Isabella. I did fuck her. Yeah.
I feel like I missed out. I saw her ass the other day, and I was thinking, wow, maybe I missed out on a hot piece of ass.
No, I did fuck Isabella Rooney, really. I don't know what it is.
Very many guns says Rand was. Oh, I already read that one. Okay, I was making sure I got that in. Rumble rants, very good. They work. They paid me yesterday. I was starting to wonder. They were a little slow, but it went through. So shout out to Rumble, and it's all good on that front. And yeah, I like Rumble a lot. Now there have been a few technical issues here and there. I think that might be due to the Restream app or whatever that I use, but Rumble's been really good. They did have a glitch on my old channel, so I had to start a new channel. But I thought I was demonetized, and they're like, no, you're not demonetized. Basically, we just have a glitch. And you can no longer see your account overview over there. I'm like, okay, well, first they said they could fix it, and then it was like, well, the real way to fix it is just start a new channel. And I was like, okay.
Oh, boy.
So I did that. We are here on the new channel. The old channel is still restreaming, and we have about 132 there, so up over about 850, maybe 900 here with Kick in there as well. So
based.
And I'll check. Yeah, we got about 50 people on Kick. Shout out to Kick. There were a few subs given already. Okay. Now I see. We'll talk about King Pain Omega Boo later as well. Now let me see here. You don't know Moody, but we're gonna have a segment on her as well later. Now
all this lore, man. I need to catch up on all this fucking lore. I thought I was pretty caught up, but turns out.
Well, she's a little slut and fucked half the right wing or more. And I saw a picture of her with James O'Keefe. I didn't know he got up in there as well. Dan Crenshaw got up in there. A lot of people. Yep. Eye Patch McCain was in there. Everybody pretty much had a turn there. And I didn't realize that until Jaden McNeil started going in on it. And she was actually on my show earlier this year, and I was nice, and I thought it was a decent appearance. But as soon as I started this war on Fuentes and his pedophile cult, she unfollowed me on Twitter, and I was like, okay.
Username Ismaname sent $3. Do you do cartoon work for businesses? I'm a garlic farmer and am interested.
Do you do cartoon work for businesses? I would assume maybe you do, but
perhaps, yeah. Perhaps. I don't need to anymore, but if I like it, if I like what you're pushing, I might help you out there. You know what I'm saying? That's really my policy at the
Well, you're big enough and well known enough that you probably can pick and choose which projects you want to do, right?
Yeah, thank Christ. Yeah, that's a fun thing right now because the big thing in the art world is like the takeover of AI and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Turns out, I stuck to my guns, like doing transgressive stuff, doing stuff that I think is fun, funny, politically incorrect. Turns out that niche is the only thing safe from fucking
AI won't draw that shit. They ban
exactly.
it. Yeah, that's right. Yes,
exactly.
What is it? What is the famous one on Discord? I can't remember now. Midjourney, I believe, is the name. And
Midjourney.
They basically made it where it won't draw anything really that transgressive. And so That's still
It's
there.
very, very, very censored, and that's a trend that's going to continue. And another thing that's happening, if you know a little bit about AI, basically what it does is like machine learning. It learns from other people's art, and there's now a big debate about copyright and all that stuff happening. And what a funny thing is, the biggest people that were screaming against the rise of AI were like these Twitter artists who are all like fan artists, and they make their money. Here's what people don't know: like there's an art prostitution segment. Basically, most artists you see on Twitter, they're basically prostitutes. They make their money of a creepy guy ask them, "Hey, can you draw me fucking Pikachu with a pair of titties sucking a fucking cock," right?
Right. Or Batman getting his dick sucked or something like that.
Yeah. Can you draw Batman getting his fucking cock sucked by a furry or some shit like that? And that's what people do. That's fucking gay. That's prostitution. You're a fucking whore, you know? And the funny thing is, they were riling against fucking AI. AI needs to be destroyed. It's taking our jobs. And the funny thing is, in order to take down AI, you need to tighten up copyright laws, which would mean these faggots wouldn't be able to draw Batman sucking a cock anymore without a lawsuit. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. And they never bring that sort of thing up. But
it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Let's see. Somebody's asking me to be nice to King Pain Omega Boo. Well, we are. And actually, we're going to do, and I'll talk about it later, but we're going to do an hour of the show tomorrow, and all proceeds from that hour is going to go to King Pain Omega Boo. Now, I think he's titling it his legal fund. I mean, it's not really going to be worth anything as far as that goes because he's already gotten sentenced, but he can just put that on his book. He's going to be in prison for 1.5 years for January 6th. So we want to do a little something nice for him. And so he should be on here tomorrow. I believe Baked Alaska is going to be on at the same time. So, and there'll be a link where you can just donate directly to him too. But anything I get for that hour, I'm going to donate as well to that.
Nice.
And thank you. And it's not, like I said, it won't get him out of jail. He's going to jail for sure. But I've been to jail, and commissary is very necessary, as Pimp C said one time, and it is. And he'll be in there for a while, and he'll want to have some money on his book, trust me. And it's very important. So let me ask you this, because it just came in. Let's see. Worst site you've ever been on?
Cozy TV.
Good answer.
I don't fucking know. Cozy TV, my nigga. Can I talk about my stream for 1 second?
Sure.
Can I plug that?
Sure.
Listen, I'm an artist. I stream for fun, basically, and I like streaming because I get to interact with my listeners and everybody that I like to interact with the peeps. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I like to integrate the chat too. So my chat's on stream constantly, and I like to draw stuff. That's how we got in contact, because I was like drawing Leafy's here. That fucking cringe bit. We should talk about Leafy's here, because that's an atrocity. That's an atrocity. The fact that guy's not being laughed off the internet again. Let me make this sidestep real quick, right? Sure. So Leafy's here basically got bullied off the internet by iDubbbz.
True. Who
recently became the internet's biggest fag.
True.
By Sam Hyde, and then after that, Leafy's here. He had the guts to come back again. And now it turns out he's also a big, fat, miserable retard, but that's why he's not on camera. Still hiding his chin. So, and I listened to that back and forth. And honestly, dude, when you were like, and I could notice that you had the same thoughts that I had, like, this guy's just bad. He's a bad streamer, a bad entertainer. He's not funny. Like, why the fuck is this guy still online? For real.
Well, and he's just weak. You know what I mean? Like, imagine, and of course I know iDubbbz, comment cop, and all that stuff. He was a bigger thing then. He was known for, fucking with people, basically. But
which he apologized for.
I know, he renounced all that. But
which, by the way, that content cup stuff was so fucking tame. It was nothing you would have ever had.
I look at that stuff as like patty cake, honestly, and I wasn't really plugged in to YouTube during that era. But I went back and seen some of that stuff, and I was like, Leafy really got ran off the fucking internet because they were making fun of his chin, basically. Like,
yeah,
what? Do you know the type of shit that's happened to me? I've been swatted like 12 times, legal cases, and people dragging my family into the shit, and just every personal piece of dirt ever. And it's like, this guy got run off the internet because they were making fun of his chin. Like, how does that even happen, Sven?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've had my own share of fucking horrible internet stuff. They were sending pictures of my brother's newborn baby decapitated to his house, the Chinese
the
Communist Party. Dude, here's the thing. What happened to me when that little cartoon that we sent, if you're just tuning in, rewind or go to SVENSTOFFELS.com to watch my China cartoon. I was getting death threats, Ethan, sorry. 1,000 of them a second. My phone was on tilt. I couldn't keep up with the death threats. And that happened for a month straight. You understand what I'm saying? The most horrible shit. They contacted my old boss. They contacted they went through my whole history, sending people mail. It was literally the greatest cancellation you've ever seen. As, greatest.
Well, you talk about death threats. I couldn't even count how many of those I've gotten.
Yeah,
or, like flat out death threats, and then just people wishing me dead, right?
Yeah. So what do you do with that? You go, fuck you, nigga. You know what I did, by the way? You know what I did when I was getting fucking threatened? So people thought I had gone silent, and then I came back and I was burning shit into a bonfire, like yelling, China, chong, chong, ching, chong, chong, threatening them more, which was actually in hindsight a really bad idea. They didn't like that. That fucked me up. That fucked me over even further.
Yeah, what would leave me do if the Chinese Communist Party was after him? I don't think he could if he can't handle iDubbbz, I don't think he'd be.
Well, he's Chinese. They'd love him.
Well, he's in Hong Kong now. I saw him take a picture earlier today. He was in Hong Kong. Yeah, and we kind of just blew him out of the water. I don't think he'd face anything like this. Here's Schlog. Let me see this.
Schlog sent $10. Sven
Thank
rules.
you, Schlog.
That's a good one.
I'm glad you are back, Ralph.
You should read that one out,
Thank you. Sven rules. I'm glad you're back, Ralph. And I'm glad to be back. And I compared it. It was like I was, I want to say Sleeping Beauty, but you know what I mean? It was like, okay, I'm awake now. And let's turn back the clock. Let's get it back to what the Killstream used to be when I wasn't on that fucking shithole website.
It feels worlds are colliding. Everything's coming back up. Daisies?
That's right.
I'm
so
Dutch.
everything's coming up roses.
Roses.
Yeah, it's roses. And, we've had a lot of guests. You're one of the new debuts that we've had here. We had Boneface.
One of the better ones. Let's go.
That's right. Had Boneface on Monday. That was a debut. There's a debut yesterday with Nima Yamini, and today was SVEN STOFFELS. Now let's see. Let me see the chat here. Now, what do you think of what's happening in America with Trump and all the indictments? You mentioned Trump and Biden a few times, but
should we watch my Biden cartoon real quick?
Yeah. Is that the last one you linked, or is it on your website?
It's on the website. The last one I linked, I want to sign off with. Here. That's my comic book. That's the bottom one. Everybody has seen this one. I'm telling you, everybody has seen this one.
All right, let me pull this up, and then I'll make it a little bit bigger. And then I have another question to ask you too. But let me make this a little bit bigger, and then I'll have to make you smaller. But we'll play it.
And by the way, I got hairy legs that turn that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap.
Crikey. Sven should make a cartoon of Croc Hunter as a MILF Hunter.
All right, now I will. The MILF Hunter. I don't know anything about that. All right, now let me readjust here.
Look at this.
There goes the Biden cartoon. And hold on, let me. We gotta do it live.
My zits. Don't look at my zits, guys. Come on.
We have to do it live, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now let me read that to you. Crikey. Sven should make a cartoon of Croc Hunter as a MILF Hunter.
Croc Hunter, yeah. Here's the thing, guys. Cartoons. It's a lot of fucking work. I once animated. I made a live animation once. You can find it on SVENSTOFFELS.com. Type in Joe Rogan sucking his own cock. One time, Joe Rogan on his podcast revealed that he can bend over so far that he can give himself head. And I went live and I animated a whole cartoon live of Joe Rogan sucking his own fucking dick. You can find that on my website. Go look at it.
Now, did he play that one on the show? Probably not. I
didn't like that one. No, he didn't really play that one. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, you live in Amsterdam, I believe.
Yeah. Netherlands.
I was actually in Amsterdam earlier this year, just for a very short layover. And I'm not doing any drugs now, but I did hit up one of the coffee shops just because I wanted to say that I had done it. And I bought this edible actually, and I didn't think it was that powerful. It was a brownie, and I ate it, and I was like fucked up for like 12 hours.
Dude.
So it ended up being pretty powerful. But yeah, I did hit one of the Two of them actually, the coffee shops, quote unquote, there.
And I'll tell you, I've done so many edibles, so many fucking shrooms and psychedelics in my life. I've never once had a good experience. I'm lucky I got out being not a complete schizophrenic, paranoid psychopath. I'm telling you that. I really made out. I was lucky. Okay, I'll never do that shit again. The last thing I did was pure THC oil, and I went into like a psychotic break. I'm done with that shit. But yeah, we do have coffee shops here. It's all legal. That's what I spend. When I was in high school, we had one of those coffee shops. You can buy the edibles, the weed, literally around the corner. We spent more time there than in the classroom, and it was just a big fucking disaster. Basically, it was just horrible, you know. But that's awesome that you were in Amsterdam. I'm in the Netherlands, which is the country in Northern Europe. Amsterdam, I'm not a huge fan of it. It's massively liberal, to be honest. To me, it's so decadent. Like there's, it's not just the weed and the drugs. There's cocks in every window. There's like dildos. It's just a dirty, smut, disgusting fucking hellhole. To be honest, that's what Amsterdam is. But I guess it's fun if you want to come to Europe and have like a little wacky experience. You know,
I'm trying to find the. I forget what it was there. I took a good picture of it. I'll see if I can find it later. But there's like this bridge that you walk over, and then it's a famous place. I don't remember the name of it.
Is that the one that was in the Modern Warfare?
Yeah, I believe so. And I walked across the bridge, and it's like this old architecture there, and there's like boats around it, and it was
the canal.
Yeah, the canal. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. And so I was there. It's funny because I had to walk around. It was so cold, and I had to walk around until they opened. And I think they opened. I want to say like 6 or 7. Yeah, no, not at that point. Oh. But I was waiting because I was like, okay, I got to hit one of these up, and I was on a layover, and so I had to wait till they opened. Anyway, long story, but I did walk around Amsterdam a little bit there earlier this year. Mm-hmm. Now you're from are you from the Netherlands or?
Yeah. I've born and raised. But I wanted to say one more thing because the Americans did one thing for. So it used to be in the smart shop. Oh.
No, Bill Hunter sent $3. Amsterdam gives a whole new meaning to being blackballed and brown held apparently.
Amsterdam, yeah. That's true.
It is. It is. I mean, that's the thing, right? Being from the Netherlands, I know all the really great spots. I wouldn't even suggest go visit those. Yes, if you want to go, just come to Amsterdam. It's fun enough, okay? But what happened was this: we have the smart shops. That's where you get the mushrooms, like the heavier psychedelic shit. And it used to be, in order for the mushroom to work, to be most potent, it needs to be dried, right? But then it was specifically an American tourist. He freaked out. He was tripping balls, and he jumped out of the top window of a hotel and splattered across the beautiful Amsterdam sidewalks. And they had to adjust the laws, ruining Amsterdam tourism forever, because now you cannot get the mushrooms in its most edible form. So you'd have to get like raw mushrooms. I guess they found some loopholes now with truffles and shit like that. Yeah. But that was like, it was an American tourist who did that, who jumped and killed himself because he tripped so badly.
Ruining it for everybody. By the way, I have a picture. I took a really good picture of it, but I can't find that one. But it's the canal, like you said. And let me see if I can pull that up here for people who don't know what I'm talking about.
That rules, though. You were in Amsterdam. That's fun. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. And I walked across that bridge. It was very cold. But I tried to find one where the lights are lit up. Now, when I was there, it's completely dark. And it's even more impressive when it's completely dark and they have the lights going there. And it is pretty,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful.
But imagine there's many more cities just equally as beautiful or more beautiful that doesn't have cocks and drugs and degeneracy everywhere. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well, I went to Rome, and that was pretty nice. Madrid is extremely beautiful.
To both those.
Yeah, the Royal Palace of Madrid, if you ever go there. The Prado Museum is a must-see as well. And I've been to Lisbon, as everybody knows, a few times. And London, too. So I'm doing a little...
Not so nice anymore, right, London?
Nah, well, I was there like, I don't know, maybe like 6-7 years ago. But
me
even
too,
I
I
like
guess.
London. I have some fond
No.
memories there, but
Nope.
and the Wellington, the Wellington Arch there, I believe is what it's called. There's a lot of cool stuff to see. Also, London. There's just it's these European cities. I love history and historical architecture and stuff like that. And there is some of that even here in Mexico, where I live in Merida. There's a cathedral that was built in like 1542 or whatever. There's a lot of stuff in the United States too, but in Europe, there's shit that was built in like 1100. You know what I mean?
I know.
Before. So you'll see shit that's like extremely old, and that
That's the
predates the whole founding of America. There, yeah, go ahead.
That's the thing. As I age, I start to appreciate that a lot more. Like my town, it's a town called Valkenburg. Oh, he's doxing himself. Come get me, nigga. But it's a town. It's built around an ancient fucking Templar castle ruin.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, right? Until I was like in my 30s, I didn't even bother to go look at it because it's just like, it's just that old fucking thing. That's the thing. That's most people in Europe. It's just you take it for granted. You did all this history, and it's also has to do. It's no longer taught. It's no longer venerated. We're taught to not like that stuff. We're taught to like sucking a cock. We're taught to like a rainbow flag. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're taught to like nowadays. But
That's right. And, history, not really a focus anymore for a lot of people. Always been one of my favorite things. And history and politics kind of go hand in hand as well. And so those are my two favorite subjects as far as
I think it's cool.
activities.
You probably decided when you got a little bit older, you know what? I got to see all these fucking things in Europe. You got to go at some point, right?
Well, I'm a big Roman history guy, and I'm just a fan of museums and stuff like that. British.
You know that salute those guys do?
Yeah, I do know that salute. I heard about it.
How does that go again?
Well, I don't remember quite, but yeah, I have heard about it a little bit. But yeah, I go to a lot
Have
of
you ever
museums.
have you done a DNA test to see where your European roots lie?
No, but I have a little Dutch ancestry and English ancestry, so I already know that. But I haven't done the actual test because I had a family member a long time ago that did the lineage tree and all that stuff. So yeah, I actually do have a little Dutch ancestry. So I can't speak.
It's
any
funny.
Dutch, but yeah, go ahead.
It's funny when I did it, right? I found out that like it goes back like the 1600s. And it showed that basically my whole family, I'm from the same place, Northern Europe, Dutch, southern part of the Netherlands. And it showed that all my ancestors were limestone miners, okay? Here's a funny thing. So in the modern schools, you're learned to have this oikophobia, they call it, this self-hatred, where you need to apologize for your colonial past and all this stuff. But when you actually zoom in on your own family history, it turns out I had nothing to fucking do with that. I had nothing to do with that. In fact, my entire family worked in fucking mines. I'd rather work in a fucking field picking cotton than work in a goddamn mine. So I don't feel this guilt at all. So I suggest everybody look up their family lineages and their DNA. Just make sure you're not sending your DNA to one of these Israeli companies.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I haven't done that because I'm like, I don't really know what they're doing with this shit.
Yeah,
so
I don't blame you.
Yeah, that's one reason I haven't done that. But let me ask you, how did you learn how to speak English, or was that just a common thing there in Netherlands? I know it's like that in Portugal.
MILF Hunter sent $3 to destroy history is to gain herstory. Didn't you get the memo?
To destroy history is to gain herstory. Didn't you get the memo? Yeah, I've heard that before. I reject that. But what about the English language?
Yeah, I watched a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and
Me too.
Jerry Springer.
Me too.
But those were the two
no
things.
wonder we get along so well, Sven.
Those were the two things that were not like dubbed as a little kid, that you would follow as a little Dutch kid. So I would just be absorbing like American fucking TV shows and shit like that, and video games, obviously.
And that's how it was in Portugal. In Portugal, I would say a good 50% or more people speak English. And when you're a tourist there, it's no problem at all finding people who speak English. In Mexico, you can see it too, but it's less here. And they're kind of more proud of their Spanish language. And you know, it's funny because sometimes they'll reveal they speak English after you clearly can't speak Spanish, and then they'll start talking to me in English. I'm like, oh, okay, so you could talk in English the whole time, fucker.
Yeah. I see. There is a lot of subtle differences in Europe as well, right? So if you're in the Netherlands, and I'm sure you figured this out. If you speak to a Dutch person in English and you ask for directions or whatever, they're very eager to show you how well their English is, right? But if you do the same thing in France, even if they speak a word of English and they could help you out, they're like, show me. You speak my language now. You know, and it's just a cultural thing. They're just fucking snobs, fucking cunts. And I mean, you know.
And yeah, France is famous for that. I haven't actually been to France, but I kind of would like to see Paris sometime, although it's kind of a shithole now too. But
it's done, dude. Just forget
that's
about
what I was told. I was talking about going to Paris, and they're like, don't waste your time. Don't go. It's like, well, fuck, I haven't seen the fucking Eiffel Tower.
I went to Brussels, and I was like, I went to an ex-girlfriend of mine, and I was looking up an Airbnb, and I found a super cheap one, super nice place. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this so cheap, right? Rare find on Airbnb. I go there. Turns out it was right on the fucking edge of one of these Muslim enclaves. Like the Muslim enclaves called Molenbeek. And it was just, it was a mega, like legit dangerous fucking place that I stayed at. It was like in a war zone. I'm like, fuck. Luckily, it was just a long weekend that I stayed there. But yeah, and it was Brussels. So it gets worse and worse and worse the farther south you go, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I felt that. Although in Portugal, it was really nice, I'll say. And it was kind of like you said, they're kind of eager to show you how well they speak English. And I was shocked at how many people spoke English just all the way around there. And so, yeah, I do a bit of traveling. I went to Cuba last fall as well. And so I like to go. Nice. And I really went to Cuba just because like it's almost forbidden to go from the United States, and it's kind of like, oh, you have to have all these reasons. But from Mexico, you just fly from Mexico and go straight to Cuba, and they don't care. So when I moved to Mexico, I flew there. I plan to go to some South American places. I want to go to Bogota and some others. But
dude, if you want to get your cock sucked,
well,
in the Netherlands, you got to come on like Dutch Liberation Day. They'll venerate the Canadians and the Americans for like liberating us and stuff like that. I look at that a little differently. I'm like, you guys maybe would have been better off staying home, perhaps.
So you just get your dick sucked. They're eager to show their appreciation. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they're so fucking happy. Like there's little American flags everywhere, like churches draped in American flags. Like there's a rich history here. Like my grandpa, he led American troops through these cave systems that they used to mine. They led the American troops through the cave system. Here's a funny story. So there's a big bombardment of Rotterdam. Yeah. The entire city of Rotterdam got like decimated, and there was video footage taken of that. And they dropped the film strip into a field in my area. And my grandpa, together with like, it was American troops, they actually led an underground like mission to retrieve that tape. So if you look up the bombardments of Rotterdam, you'll see the tapes on YouTube. My fucking grandpa retrieved those tapes.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, fucking nuts.
Nuts. Now let me see. Oh, I saw a question in the chat. What do you think about Scott Adams?
Scott Adams. That's the cartoon, that guy. I don't really have an opinion. I don't follow that guy really. He's like a boomer. Who gives a shit? Boomers will boom. You know,
Boomer's gonna boom.
He needs to do.
That's a
Boomer's
law.
Gonna boom. I kind of gave up on the whole boomer question. You know, they're on their way out. Hopefully, you know.
Well, they keep saying that, but.
Yeah, well, and they're gonna. If I was a boomer, I'd invest in Neuralink and all that stuff because they keep getting older and older and older. Like we're fucked. Did you see like the amount of like the GDP that's in the hands of like the millennial generation right now is like, what is it, like 10% or some shit?
It's very
like we're
small.
fucked, dude. We're just fucked.
It's very small, and yeah, they keep saying they're on the way out. They're pretty good at holding on to power, though, I have to say, as far as that goes. But
and money. They're like Schmo the dragon sitting on a big chest of money. They don't want to let go of that.
Now let me play. Okay, so first off, before I play that, we're not gonna keep it too long. We got you about an hour. But what?
All right, that's fine.
What have I not brought up that you wanted me to bring up?
Well, I'm working on a cartoon or on a comic book. That's my main thing right now. The comic book's finished. The first one, I'm working with a publisher and a distributor that's going to distribute it in America. So it's not like one of these Kickstarter campaigns where I need your money to make the thing. It's already done. And I'm hoping to be able to start the pre-orders for my book, my first comic book, which is mega based. You'll love it. It's called Butch Killigan. It's going to be hopefully in October. And if you could check out that last link, it's a trailer. It's only 2 minutes long. If you could, people can get an impression of this thing. And I would like them to go to butchkilligan.com and subscribe to the mailing list.
Very cool. And then here's the video on that. And I'm going to pull it up here. My browser's being slow. I have no idea. That doesn't make any sense. But
hey, Ethan. Yeah. Hey, it's okay, dude. It's okay.
It's frustrating though, Sven. It's like, why is this even happening? It doesn't make sense.
We'll get there, man. We'll get there at some point, you know.
We'll all get there at some point. All right, now let me pull this up here, and we'll go ahead and play it. You won't be able to hear it. I'm going to try to fix that this weekend. It used to work fine. I have a Rodecaster, and it would do the audio pass through. But since I got a new laptop, it doesn't play well with the newer USB 3.2 slot, and I don't know why, but I ordered a USB hub, so we'll see. All right, let me go ahead and play this right now.
203, a robbery in progress. 304, someone's home being burglarized. 366, a violent crime's committed. 504, an alleyway rape.
Oh, wait, hold on, pause for a sec.
Base Fran sent $3. Hey Sven, do you know of Adam Curry, who's from the Netherlands?
I'll ask him this.
He was
right
the
after.
first MTV VJ, the inventor of the podcast and co-creator of the No Agenda show.
I actually know that person, not personally, but I know a lot of MTV VJs because I grew up watching them. All right, let me go ahead and play this. I'll go back like 5 seconds. That's kind of funny.
Violent crimes committed. 504, an alleyway rape. And yeah,
any questions,
it don't stop. Another 187 on an
I was wondering
undercover
when
cop.
187 was going to come up.
These codes ain't just numbers on a radio beam. They're cries for help.
Is that a snot bubble?
Responders needed on the scene ASAP.
Copy that. This is Scorpio Zero. We're on the case.
Dios mío! You made me spill everywhere.
These are troubled times, Pancho.
And you're driving way past the speed limit, FYI.
The city's changing at dizzying speeds. But I'm not gonna let it get away from me.
Great. Flash the lights and play the siren then. I have a family I would like to get home to.
Speeding's best done without blaring the siren. Motorists tend to freak out and make unsafe maneuvers when a shrieking alarm vehicle appears behind them. We must hurry. Here, blow on this real quick so I can activate the solid fuel nitrous oxide turbo booster.
That's the BAIID. The driver is required to blow on that.
I ain't putting my mouth on that. Besides, I took back a few road sodas while you're enjoying your little siesta there.
You've been drinking? Drinking while driving? That's conduct unbecoming an officer.
Says asleep on the job, guy.
You're nuts if you think I'm going to participate in your foolish nonsense.
Don't get all choked up about it.
IID successful. Boost authorized. Solid fuel nitrous oxide turbo boost now.
Strap in, Posh. I'm about to rattle your day.
Butch Killigan, the link's in the chat.
Stay tuned. The next chapter's coming soon.
Very cool.
Man.
I have to say. And
Thank you.
I've not had the interlock device, but I knew exactly what that was. I know exactly what that was as soon as it was shown.
And I bet you've enjoyed some road sodas yourself.
In my day, I've had a couple road sodas. I do have to admit.
Anonymous sent $3.
Please, guys, go check out butchkilligan.com. Subscribe to the mailing list. You got to do it. Support real based art, motherfuckers. I wrote this. I drew this. This is all me. There's no investors, nothing. I'm doing this by myself. So I need people to, and it's good, you know?
You know what? You made me think, and I'll ask these two, or there's a comment and a question, I think, and I'll ask those here at towards the end. Slog, thank you, brother.
Schlog sent $10.
Very kind of you, sir. I appreciate that support. Oh, it's a song. Well, you know what? Give me 1 second, and you know what? I can just let it play for a second. It's not too loud, actually. You know what? Maybe I'll have a little tone here. Well, I'll ask you this. Have you...
I can't hear this tune.
No, you can't hear it. I've got to fix that. I know you can't hear it. I can hear it. Right. But let me ask you, have you heard of The Dick Show?
Yeah, I have heard of the Dick Show. Dick Masterson? Yeah, I have heard of that.
Have you ever been on there?
I think he follows me. No, I have not. He does follow me on Twitter. I think I follow him too. We've never really talked or anything, but...
Well, here, and I'll play this song some more here in a second, Slog. Thank you, brother. I'll play some more of it here in a second after the guest. Lo-fi for the win, I saw in chat. Well, I was thinking that you would be a perfect fit on his show. Sometimes I do that. He's a friend of mine, and I'll have a guest on. I'm like, wow, this person needs to go on the Dick Show. and he's also he has a rotating crew of artists and stuff like that who do his podcast covers every week and stuff. And you were talking earlier, and I saw one of his artists, Protsky is his name. He's really good, actually. And he was talking about AI art, and he's like, okay, I got to do a little different now, and he was kind of talking about the AI fad or whatever. And I was thinking you'd be good on that show. So
sure, hey, dude, hook it up, if you're willing to. I'm willing to check out.
I will hook it up, and I'll mention that to him today, and I'll put it over here in my notepad.
Awesome.
I
have heard of him. I hear he's a cool guy, but I've just never, we never really officially crossed paths.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're about to. And I'll reach out to him, and I'm pretty sure he'll want to have... Of course, I don't book his show, but I'm pretty sure he would want to have you on, and I'll mention that to him. Good friend of mine, and he's got a really big show, and he doesn't do it every day like I do, but he's got a couple shows on the weekend, and the big one is the Dick Show, which I've been on many times, and I think you'd do well on there, so I'll mention that to him. And
that sounds good, dude.
Yeah, definitely. And it just came to me while I was like, this gotta be great on the Dick Show. And okay, I'll mention that to him. And let me ask you these couple, and I'll play some more of a Slog song here in a second after we finish this. Base Francis, hey Sven, do you know of Adam Curry, who's from the Netherlands? He was the first MTV VJ, the inventor of the podcast, and co-creator of the No Agenda show.
I know of him. I've seen some of his stuff on Joe Rogan as well. He was he's one of these Dutch guys, just like Paul Verhoeven, like those guys that really made it big in the United States.
Yeah.
Paul Verhoeven is the guy who made RoboCop and shit like that. He's a Dutch guy. Starship Troopers. Yeah. But yeah, Adam Curry. Here's the thing: in the Netherlands, we know Adam Curry about his sex tape scandal of his ex-wife. The guy, I don't know if it was him actually. I shouldn't be saying that. But there was a big scandal with his ex-wife she was having guys piss on her and shit like that. In short, no, I'm not very familiar with them. I'm just spouting off but the things that I do know about him, but no. Sven is way cooler than those AF twerps, says the ontology. I'd fucking hope so.
That's very true.
I've never ate a boy's ass, I'll tell you that much. And I never will, most likely.
Okay, so I think you can DM. Check and see if you can DM Dick. And he said, I can. He's been listening. Okay. He's very.
Shout outs.
He's down to have you on the show. He's very positive. I won't quote him directly, but very positive toward you and your work. So, okay, I'll have him DM you.
I'm down.
See, I'm doing work on the show. All right, so there we go.
Dude. The sector is fucking healing. The sector is healing.
All right, so I went ahead and texted him while we were live. So it looks like that.
Nice.
That's a go. And
hell yeah,
just
dude.
DM him, and I'm sure that they'll have you on. He already knows you.
I'll send him a little DMs.
Yeah, he already knows you, and is down to have you on. All right, now let me see here. He was watching some too. So shout out to Dick Masterson. Very good.
By the way, Ethan, if you want to get me to fuck off, it's fine, right? I know you have some business.
Well,
some
business. It's not that.
Do.
It's not that. Sometimes, there's exceptions when it's like a really long interview or something like that. But I feel like generally 60 to 80 minutes is kind of a good level for interviews, and people are more likely to go back and watch it if it's that length versus like 3. I've done 3-hour interviews, but sometimes that's just too much for people, and they're like, 3 hours. Yeah. So I know I do like a 10-hour show sometimes. But,
all I'm saying is, if you need me to get the frick out of here, just let me know. No offense taken.
No, I'm gonna let you say your farewells here in a second. But there was another question. Anonymous says, "This looks so much better than the Isom comic. Have you heard of Eric July?" That's a favorite topic for Mr. Masterson as well. His comics suck, is what they said. That was rude, but
not familiar. Sorry, guys. Not familiar.
He doesn't know Isom, but we know SVEN STOFFELS. He did some great art. I want to thank him personally for doing that intro art. It's our outro art too. Very cool, and I enjoyed it a lot, and the chat enjoyed it a lot, and the audience in general. Nice. And you can find all his stuff there. ButchKilligan.com, I believe, is what you said there. That's been linked in the chat. Rumble.com/user/SVEN STOFFELS. Also, his link tree is in the description. However you do that, linktr.ee/SVEN STOFFELS, and it has all his stuff on there. I think SVENSTOFFELS.com, right, is your own website.
That's the one that's our hub where we do all the streams. I do streams every Sunday. At least I try to. Last one we did, there was this new news how in Fortnite they introduced the new epic DLC of the Holocaust Remembrance Museum. Yeah,
I saw that.
So what we did was we did a little, we call it love raids, not hate raids.
Of course not.
With our chat, we went to Twitch and we asked streamers, can you guys please go check out the Holocaust Museum? You know, because we said our new slogan is enough play, it's time to remember. People really like that one. So go check out that. That's our last stream that we did. So we like to fuck around on streams. Again, streaming is like this little hobby that I do. I like to make some art.
Well, you know, there was a Holocaust Museum in Richmond, and I remember Warski was there with me.
I love a good Holocaust museum.
Well, you know, he wanted to do an IRL stream through the Holocaust Museum, and I'm like, that's not a good idea, Andy. I'm not going to do that.
No, that's not.
That's not a good idea. You want to get canceled from everything ever? That'd be a good idea if you wanted to do that. But
I once had a bad idea, and I actually, if you go to SVENSTOFFELS.com, type in Auschwitz in the search bar. I did a stream where I actually went to Auschwitz. I went to Auschwitz because I heard all this talk about a swimming pool, all this crazy stuff. And if you watch that thing, my report about my trip to Auschwitz, I snuck away from the tour, and I found the pool. Spoiler alert!
Really?
You can find all that on SVENSTOFFELS. Yep.
Very good. SVENSTOFFELS.com. And I see somebody in chat says that would have been great content, though. Yeah, I mean, it would have been, but it would have been the last content that we fucking made, probably.
Yeah, you don't.
SVENSTOFFELS, thank you for making your debut on the Killstream. I hope you'll come back, and I hope to see you on the Dick Show soon as well. And you've been really nice to me and really complimentary toward me, and I really appreciate your help and your support, and I loved having you on the show.
Respect. I'm here to show my respects for the Ralpha male. I'm glad he's back and fucking unshackled from that gay-ass pedo organization called Cozy or whatever the fuck it's called.
SVENSTOFFELS, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me, brother.
Much appreciated. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for watching this clip. This is the CACA. Remember to like and subscribe.